just come out that are still giving Clinton a lead with about 4%. Should we now go home, so to speak? Is it enough to suggest that she might just take the day?
No, there's the famous 1950s elections in the U.S. where one candidate was presumed to be the winner,
right,
and the other candidate is the one who won, and so the winning candidate, Harry Truman, holds the newspaper of the day,
yeah,
which declared his rival the winner of the election. So,
so
until the last vote is counted,
right.
we can't be sure.
All right. There's something we're talking about, the Electoral College, and many people don't really understand what is it all about. What do you mean that someone might have the popular vote, but when it comes to the Electoral College, there's, somebody else might just take the day? What does that mean? Maybe you can just break it down for us.
The Electoral College are a group of people who are obligated to vote depending on how the state votes.
Okay.
Because the U.S. presidential system or the U.S. electoral system is not centralized.
Okay.
Each state organizes its own election.
All right.
So there's no IEBC.
Okay.
There's no chairman of the IEBC declaring the presidential result.
Okay.
It's either appointed or elected officials in the 50 states announcing the results in that state.
In that state.
And depending on who gets the most votes in that state, then the Electoral College members who are chosen based on the population of that state, they then are obligated to vote for the person who carried that state, not the person who carried the national vote.
Okay.
So it's possible that if you tally the individual votes across the nation,
right,
that person may have won overall the popular vote, but the electoral votes may go differently.
Okay.
But it is rare. It's not often that happens. I think in recent history, what I heard is 4 times in the last so many decades. The most recent was in 2000 when Al Gore carried the popular vote.
Yes.
But George Bush won the electoral vote.
And there are people who are saying that maybe would happen with this particular one, that Trump would carry the popular vote, but when it comes to the electoral college, it's going to be a different story.
And this is the challenge, because if it was purely based on how many white people vote,
yes,
that may matter. But you have a growing population of Hispanics.
Yes.
You have the black vote, and you have other minorities. And these votes have become more important as elections have been held in recent years.
Right. Okay, let's talk about these last rallies that they've had. And Barack Obama really backed Hillary Clinton. I'd also like to hear your comments about that. Him really coming out strong together with Michelle Obama for the last couple of months, just backing Hillary. What impact has that had on her campaign?
One, she has had the advantage of having a closer, somebody who, after all the points have been made about why Hillary should be elected president and so on, somebody who puts it together in a way that the average voter will be able to say, aha, okay, so this is why this matters.
Yeah.
And that's the value for Hillary Clinton. Conversely, Donald Trump does not have a closer, because Donald Trump has alienated Republican leaders, Republican supporters in significant ways, so that there's no collaboration between his presidential campaign and the Republican Party in the way that it would have been in past elections.
Which would have given him an advantage.
Exactly.
All right. Let's also talk about, there have been people who are saying that this election, and especially the campaigns, it has been really based on personal attacks. That's the issues that have been discussed even with the debates. But it has been more about personal attacks. Do you think what has been discussed even in the presidential debates will really help the American voter to know this is the person I want, and why? These are the reasons that I want this person.
I think one has to make a distinction. The personal attacks have been primarily Donald Trump and his core group of supporters attacking the person of Hillary Clinton.
But even Hillary Clinton has come out strong.
Yes. Yeah. If you remember the Republican convention, there were shouts from the floor, lock her up, lock her up.
Yes.
Unprecedented in US elections. Now, yes, Hillary Clinton has attacked the person of Donald Trump, but not in terms of saying that he's necessarily a crook or anything like that, but just basically saying his temperament is not one of somebody who can be president. That is what her focus has been on. But Hillary's side, they've also addressed issues, principally because she has had to address issues from the Democratic nomination process. So the issue of what the minimum wage should be in the US,
Yes.
that was something that her rival Bernie Sanders advocated for. She took that on board in order to win his supporters to secure the nomination. And there are other issues like that that she has taken on board, and she has continued to advocate during the campaign. And not just her, Michelle Obama,
Yes.
Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders has been campaigning for her husband Bill Clinton, there's a senator called Elizabeth Warren. All of these have been touching on these issues.
And as much as there are all these people who have been behind Hillary Clinton, there are critics who are saying that if you take a look critically at the key issues and what Trump and Hillary stand for, his ideologies and his policies seem to have the best interest of the American at heart. But on the other side, for Hillary Clinton, is more of continuing to position America as this, world power that, will still consider minorities, will still consider, people who are moving from other countries to migrants, to the States. What would your analysis of that be? As much as she has this backing, but there are people who are saying that if you look at the issues critically, Trump really has the best interest of Americans at heart.
Well, it is true in terms of Trump's foreign policy platform.
Yeah.
A lot of it is insular. And his thinking has been, look, America has been out there doing all sorts of things, policing the world,
Yes.
being involved in conflicts and things like that. He says it's time for America to retreat. If there are problems somewhere in the world, there are organizations that America is a member of and other countries are members of,
Okay.
and those countries need to pay their way. So that's true. And Hillary Clinton presents the normal foreign policy platform that either Republican or Democrat candidates have done over decades.
Right. All right. And it's interesting to see that, we'll be looking shortly at the key issues, that they have been tackling. And one, of course, is taxes, and that's why people are saying that, Trump really is, his ideologies, as much as he's a very controversial man, they're not too bad for the average American.
Well, there's one key difference between the two of them.
Yeah.
The one thing that Hillary Clinton is talking about is the debt people incur in order to go to university or college. And people are saddled with this debt for years, in some cases decades, because getting jobs has been difficult, and if you get a job, it may not be as well paying to allow you to reduce your debt or pay off your debt completely from college.
Okay.
This is an issue that Trump has not addressed. And Hillary Clinton has put forward a plan to either reduce that debt or get rid of that debt in some cases for people who have student debt or student loans pending as we speak.
Tom, just analyze for us, what would a Trump presidency mean for Americans and then also for Africa?
A Trump presidency would mean a divided U.S. He has not really sought to present a unifying message to the U.S. public. His support base are primarily white, male Americans who don't have a college degree. That's his main support.
Okay.
And he has not really tried, during this campaign, after securing the Republican Party nomination, he has not tried to broaden that. He has not tried to bring on the Latinos who are conservatives, who have voted for Republicans over the years, or blacks or anybody else. He's not really bothered about that. So that is what it would mean domestically for the U.S. In terms of foreign policy, it would mean an insular U.S., a U.S. that is more focused on itself and doesn't care what happens in the world, except if countries say they want to get nuclear arms. Trump has said he's not going to demand that they don't. He's not going to lobby the United Nations or insist on implementation of treaties that are aimed at reducing the nuclear stockpile in the world.
Okay. Hillary Clinton, what would her presidency look like? Because she's not too foreign to leadership, because she has been there as first lady, and she's also held very important offices in the government. What would her presidency look like? Would it be anything different from what Obama has been?
Her presidency will be different from what Obama has been, simply because she'll be the first woman occupying the White House.
Okay.
By that sheer fact, a lot of things change. But she will be building on Obama's coalition, building on the coalition that her husband built, and her administration or her message to the U.S. will be one of more of inclusiveness. we can only move together, we can only progress as a country
Okay.
if we are all involved in working for the country, not one group working to the exclusion of another. And then in terms of foreign policy, she will likely be emphasizing women's issues on the international scene, children's issues on the international scene, in addition to the traditional foreign policy
Yes.
platforms of, NATO, building, continuing alliances with Japan and South
Right.
Korea and things like that.
All right. Thank you so much, Tom Maditi. He's a world affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your remarks and insights. Let's wait and see who we're going to be talking about tomorrow morning.
Indeed.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for that. All right. Let's come back